It's 5 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, and the sun is very, very bright. We are very lucky. We are arriving at Trondheim, and we are going to have a tour of the city for 2 hours. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, and look at this bright, bright sun. The wind is blowing, it's kind of cold, but this is beautiful. All the little houses on the mountain tops. Look at them. And there is the road.
Of Cecilia. Cecilia was a market lady. She became a widow, but she didn't stop her husband's business and continued. She was one of the richest persons in Norway, and she built a huge wooden palace. They call it the wooden palace, and it.
We're in the city of Trondheim, and there are many old houses.
So it's fortunate with houses close to. This is from 1898. What is good with the houses near the water is when there was fires, the houses near the water, of course, get water first because they're close to the water. So you have on the other parts and some parts that totally burnt down. And the fire started already in the 13th century.
So for going north and south. So when you ride with me, I'm gonna give you a little treat. You're gonna have a taste discovery of lefse.
That's what we had on the boat.
This what I carry up is what.
Magnificent view.
Be careful. You're so close to the truck.
Stella is shopping from the grandkids. We spend so much time looking for stuff for the grandkids. Nice people going to the classroom. Hello.
That would be like from the church.
No, we're not turning, we're going straight on, so we're gonna have the police station. So it's a fine of 16,000 Norwegian kroner if you pass on the small bridge.
We're leaving Trondheim now.
So I got off the bus, we hurry up on the boat, and time for us.
First of all, for bringing the nice weather with you. And, well, you have probably seen a lot so far from Norway, but it might be that you have some specific questions. So therefore, I would like to ask you kindly to feel free to contact me. Just ask if you have any questions. Maybe there's something you don't know about so far, so just ask me. Yeah. Some of you fasten the seatbelts already. This is a very good idea, because we have also here the duty to fasten the seatbelts in buses. Safety first. Sie haben natürlich schon viel gesehen von Norwegen, das weiß ich. Sie kommen aus dem Norden. Und this one is, for example, located on 7 islands. We will also pass soon now our marketplace, and there we will also see our symbols of the town. The clipfish woman, and opposite side the herringsboy. I will show you this real quick coming up. On the very left side on this island there you see also an old stone church. This is also not too common here in Norway because most of our churches really consist of woods beneath the Atlantic Ocean. So therefore we are quite deep under the ocean.
250
The tunnel is 5.7
meters.
kilometers long.
We are going in that
And it was
tunnel.
finished in 2009 after 3 years of construction. And the tunnel is also part of a very special, well, connection of the city with the mainland, which was almost finished in the 1990s. This tunnel, however, came later, but it's also part of this big connection. Straight ahead in front of us, the Atlantic Ocean. You haven't seen it for a while now, I guess. Yeah. But now we're going directly beneath it. Also gerade aus vor uns der Atlantik. Den haben Sie auch schon lange nicht mehr gesehen. Und jetzt geht es dann gleich links runter durch den Tunnel.
No, I think it's the bridges. But I could be wrong.
Most of those tunnels, as well as this one here, are pre-financed by the communities. And then they raise a toll. So also this tunnel here is a toll road tunnel. And through this toll, everything will be the blue light. We know that we have reached the deepest point of the tunnel. But it will take a while until we see it. Ja, diese Und vielleicht sind Sie schon durch den Leerwaldstunnel gefahren. Der ist etwas südlicher von hier, knappe 200 Kilometer. Und das ist wirklich einer der längsten Tunnel der Welt. So here's the blue light now. That means we are at the deepest point of 250 meters. And now it's going up. As soon as we come out of the tunnel, you can also see a blue sign coming up then on the right. Dass sie uns die ganzen Preise zeigt, die man zahlen muss, wenn man hier durchfährt. Keine Sorge, das ist natürlich alles mit inbegriffen in dieser Tour. Aber es sind 89 Kronen für ein Auto und dann nochmal 36. We are on an island called Averøy, to be precise on the northeastern point of the island. And from there on we drive down south to our first stop, to Kværnes Stave Church. And from there on over to the west, where we are about to eat some bacalao today. Directly in a restaurant directly located at the Atlantic Ocean Road. And then we will arrive around 9:10 this evening in Molde. So there we have this island has no problems anymore with unemployment. Almost everyone here is employed. We have here a population of roughly 5,600 inhabitants, 5,700 meanwhile. The guided tour, we have also time to have a look around and take some pictures. It's also important to mention always a comfort stop. Inside the White Church there are 2 restrooms, so feel free to use them. On our left side we have the
English-speaking people, and the Norwegians who are educated, they understand English, these women. You will go with me to the right in the church, to the chancel, please.
Goodbye.
And eventually we came to be together with Denmark for 400 years. We call these years called 400 years light. Henry Gibson was the first to call it that. And the church at the beginning had no windows and no pulpit and no pews, and people came from far away in the rowing boats because the sea was the main road. And they came here with their infants to be christened, and you can now see in the church books, which are now open until 100 years from now back, that children were often christened the same day as they were born. And they came here in a rowing boat and stood on their 2 feet, listening to the priest, hearing the words of God, and had christenings, funerals, and weddings. In Camarnes, where you are now, people have been here for thousands of years. After the big hurricane, they had to take some forest more west, symbolizing she's the new Eve. We have Saint Anna, the mother, the grandmother, holding the Jesus child. Saint Anna is a Catholic saint for the poor. I suppose you know. Here we have Maria with the crown. She's the heavenly with the Jesus child. And here, around here, is written an Ave Maria. The part surrounding is from Protestant time. We have Moses, the Ten Commandments, John the Baptist, Christ at the top. We have the anchor and the cross. Faith, hope, I know you will not ask, but I will tell you the tablecloth is 250 years old, but we don't know who made it because it
especially here along the coast, cured cod or salt cod. That means we use mainly for this clipfisk, codfish. You can also use halibut or, well, pollock or other fish, but the best fish for clipfish is really cod. And then you split it up, take all the guts, of course, inside out of it, and then you open up the fish and then salt it and dry it repeatedly in several to 2 or 3 weeks in salt. And this makes it, of course, very long-lastable. So especially in earlier days when people had no fridges, it was a very handy product because you can store a clipfish like this for up to 5 or even 6 years without it being rotten. Later on, after we had dinner at the restaurant, the owner or some of the fish gains a little bit of volume again and is of course not that salty anymore, and then you can prepare a lot of dishes out of it. But here in this case, it's bacalhau, and I hope you will taste it and try it and hopefully also like it, because it's very traditional here in this area. Pay on your own. I can let you know that a glass of wine or a beer costs 70 crowns. Just that you have an information later on, but yeah, most of the times we have it like this. We are today 63 people all together, so therefore you can imagine there are 2 toilets, 63 people, so we have to leave at 35 exactly, so just that you know. Yeah.
The bacalhau place. Finally arrived at the bacalhau place. This is bacalhau, famous bacalhau here in Norway. Very good.
It's really nice and warm. I don't want to take all the bacalhau.
No.
We came to have bacalhau at this restaurant, and they have this stream and it goes into the Atlantic Ocean, and this is a view of the Atlantic Ocean, and it's 7:30 at night.
Around the world,
The
and then
longest,
people can sit in the remainings, actually, in the shipwreck pieces
bridge,
of
the
these
longest bridge that they
well,
have
original
here.
boats. It's a very interesting island. Here you can see it at dangerous out here. On the left side there's a heron as well. And there's also a diving school we will pass soon, which is offering shipwreck diving tours. So everywhere here on the right side, on the ground of the ocean, there are plenty of shipwrecks laid there. Photo stop area for next year, or from next year on. You see that they are geradeaus vor uns haben wir jetzt die Stursalsundbrücke. Und das ist die größte und längste Brücke hier, 23 Meter hoch und 260 Meter lang. Und sie teilt die Kommune Averøy mit der Eide-Kommune. Nochmal zur Orientierung, links ist der Kalk- und Marmorbruch. Again, for your orientation, on the left side is the limestone and marble quarry. So, ich hatte gerade gesagt, dass rechts von uns die Küstenabschnitt hier 14 Kilometer lang heißt Hustadvika. But who knows? Yeah, we will follow the ocean a little bit, so it might be that there are some eagles to be seen. So, und wie gesagt, nochmal um zurückzukommen darauf, warum dieser Abschnitt hier so gefährlich ist. Denn Sie denken sich wahrscheinlich, ist so alles ganz sauer. Fishing bridge. No, there are just 2 fishermen right now, but they are everywhere spread around because this is really stream here, and therefore plenty of fish, especially codfish and herring and pollock. So, also hier kommen ja die beiden Gewässer aufeinander, das Meer und auch links von uns der Fjord.
This is where the water from the Atlantic Ocean and the fjords meet.
Aber wirklich, wie gesagt, hier in der Region ganz viel Dorsch, Kaviar und auch Seelachs, also Pollock, Köhler.
And we're still on the bridge. We're still going on the bridge.
This is amazing. Amazing beauty. The beauty, look at so, ooh. Ooh.
This is the Atlantic, and then it's coming the longest bridge that they have built, and we were in it, the longest bridge, and then on the other side of the bridge is the fjord, and underneath the bridges you can see the water combining from the fjords and the Atlantic, getting it together, and there is a lot of good fishing in there. And it's 250 meters long, I think.
1612, the former Swedish king Karl IX tried to conquer the land one more time. He tried it several times, of course. And back then in 1612, he hired a little Scottish army in order to help him to invade the country and fight against the Danish-Norwegian Union. But they were very usual here in Norway, and maybe you have seen it already, or you will see it one day. It's not that easy to catch it on camera. Is that if the grass grows too high here, we just simply put a sheep or a goat on top of it, and they cut off everything ecologically. It's no joke, it's really true, but it's really hard to see that. Yeah. And nowadays, maybe you have seen it at the restaurant, and nowadays people use or tend to use quite often this plastic wrap. It doesn't look that well, but okay, it's very handy. Yeah, you say that the grass-sod roof with a birch bark lasts about, well, 20-25 years maybe, but with a plastic wrap up to 30-35 years. So therefore you see it quite often nowadays.
We're leaving Molde after we had the tour, and we are on the ship and we are leaving, and it's 9:45. We are all the mountains have snow on them. We are all surrounded by it. It's a little bit fuzzy, but they are all there. The other side of the ship as we are leaving Molde, and this is the last night, and tomorrow we are going to be disembarking at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.